Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making a brunch. We're doing a cheese souffle, an overnight blueberry French toast, jeweled fruit salad, and orange juice mocktail. It's a non-alcoholic cocktail that you can serve with your brunch. So we're going to start out with the blueberry. So I've got 12 eggs that I've cracked in here, and I'm going to beat those. To that I'm going to add 2 cups of milk, grab a spatula here. This is a 1/3 cup of maple syrup. You can use whatever you prefer. I believe this is Aunt Jemima. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I have 12 slices of bread. I actually bought Texas toast, and I took the crust off. You don't have to, you can leave the crust on. And then, so I put half of them in a 9x13 glass pan. One thing I want to tell you about this is today I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of sugar in this. When I've made it before, I like my French toast a little bit sweeter, so we're just going to add just that little bit of sugar. You know, the recipe actually does not call for it, but I wanted it to just be a little sweeter, so I am adding a 1/4 cup of sugar. So on top of 6 of your pieces of bread, I have 2 8-ounce cream cheeses, and it sounds like a lot. I've diced them, but they kind of, when it bakes and everything, they kind of, as you bite, you'll have kind of a little burst of cheese, and it's really an interesting flavor. So I've cut them into cubes. They're pretty sticky, so you just got to kind of work with them a little bit. If you don't want quite that much, you don't have to, but it does call for 2 8-ounce cream cheese. So basically a layer of cheese in between your bread. What I wanted to do is, since it's just before Easter, is to give you some Easter brunch ideas. Sometimes it seems like something that you can make up the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and then in the morning bake it and then head off to church, or when you come back from church or whatever. So it's kind of nice to have something different like this, and most everybody likes French toast. That's one thing. One of those luxuries, if I get to eat breakfast out, which isn't very often, but once in a while if you're traveling, French toast is sometimes one of those things I spoil myself with. And then the blueberries are in season now, so and they're really good. They're not too expensive, so I thought this would be a nice idea for you to try if you like. Rinse my hand a little. Okay, now we're going to sprinkle about a cup of blueberries. This is a pint of blueberries, so we're going to sprinkle a cup of it on here. And then the other cup of it will be making a glaze to go over the top. So just kind of spraying around. Okay, so now we're going to cover that with the rest of the breadcrumbs. I'm just kind of pressing it in place a little bit. And then I'm just going to give this just a quick stir in case something settles. Kind of press it down. And then this is where you would put it in the refrigerator, cover it tightly, and then put it in the refrigerator. And you can let it sit overnight. Now I've done it before where it didn't have to sit overnight and it was just fine. But the beauty of something like this is that you can make it the night before, and then the next day when you're crazy busy and everybody's running around, it's nice to have it already done. So I'm going to take this out to the refrigerator. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, we're going to start working on the souffle. And I greased a 9x13 pan. We're starting with 6 whole eggs. Start beating those. To that, I'm going to add a cup of Bisquick. One cup of milk. Scrape it down with my spatula. Got this recipe from a friend of mine years ago. We were invited to a brunch at her house, and I like it because it's different. It's not like one that you always have like at church or wherever else. It's kind of fun to have a little bit of a different egg bake. Okay, I'm going to throw in a half cup of melted butter. This is a pint of cottage cheese, 2 cups. This is a pound of Monterey Jack cheese that I've grated, or you can buy it grated. I like to grate my own, then I know it's fresh, and a lot of times the pre-grated cheese has like potato, dehydrated potato powder in it to keep it from clumping. And so I like to grate my own. I just feel like it's fresher, and then it's just cheese. There's nothing else in with it. Now, you can do you can do some variations that are optional. For this, I wanted to have some meat in my brunch, so I bought, this is really handy, these little John Morrell mini cubed ham, and I just throw a packet of that in there. If you want to do some other kind of meat, I imagine you could do bacon, or the recipe says crab, but I kind of like ham, especially on Easter. And then I'm also going to add a can of, a little bit more juice there, a can of green chilies that are already chopped, and I'll give it just a little bit of zip. Okay. Okay. And this, the nice thing about this is it doesn't have to sit in the refrigerator overnight. You can bake it right away, and as you can see how quickly it went together, it just takes a few minutes. So I'm going to set it aside. We'll put it in the oven when we have everything about ready to go. So we'll take a break and clean up. I wanted to say before we take a break real quick though, if you want a copy of any of these recipes, if you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. They'll be happy to help you with a copy. If you do have internet, you go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytal.net. Click on the Country Cook and Cal. You'll find the recipes. We'll be right back.
At Valley Telecommunications, we pride ourselves in providing the home team advantage. But what does that mean? It means going above and beyond to take care of our customers' needs by providing exceptional customer service, because helping you helps all of us. As a cooperative, each time you subscribe to our services, you are investing in our community, which allows all of us to build and benefit from the newest technologies. Make the switch today to Valley Telecommunications and experience the home team advantage.
We're going to work on the jeweled fruit salad. It's always kind of fun for a brunch to have some fresh fruit, and this is a nice combination. So we're going to start out with 1.5 cups of green grapes. I've washed and stemmed them. This is 1 cup of blueberries. This is 2 cups of strawberries that I've hulled and sliced. You can cut them up a little thinner if you want to. These are actually big strawberries that were in the store when I did my shopping, but anyway, so I kind of left them big, but they're thin, so they should be easy to eat. Calls for 1 kiwi, and they were so small that I bought 3, peeled them, sliced them, and then I cut them in 2. There were no fresh raspberries in the store, so I have 1 cup of frozen strawberries there. This is a can of mandarin oranges that I've drained. And this is 1/4 cup of cranberries. I use frozen. When cranberries go on sale in January, when they're trying to clear out their inventory, I always buy, because I like to use cranberries anyway. So this is 1/4 cup of cranberries that I've sliced in half. And it just gives it kind of another texture. So let's kind of stir that around. Mix it up. If there's some other fruit that is in season that's in the store that you think, like blackberries would be pretty in here, give it another color. So it looks like this. For the dressing, this is 1 cup of vanilla yogurt. To that I'm going to add a tablespoon of mayonnaise. I use Hellmann's. You can use whatever you prefer, but I like Hellmann's. 2 tablespoons of orange juice and a teaspoon of orange peel. use a whisk so it gets smooth. Now at this point you can do what you like. They say to serve it on the side. You can also stir it into the fruit. I'm just going to go ahead and stir it in, and that'll kind of help the flavors blend together too a little bit better. Then you have to be kind of careful so you don't break things up. The raspberries are kind of falling apart because they were frozen, but okay. I'm just gonna put some saran wrap over this. We'll put it in the refrigerator until we're ready to eat. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
I'm going to start making the topping for the blueberry French toast. So I have a cup of granulated sugar. To that I'm going to blend in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And whisk that together. And then slowly stir in a cup of water. Okay, now you're going to want to cook and stir this for about 3 or 4 minutes until it starts to, when it comes to a boil, about 3 or 4 minutes. And then we're going to stir in a cup of blueberries. So instead of you having to sit here and watch me for 3 or 4 minutes, we'll take a break. But I want to tell you about this. You do not want to leave it because it will scald. So just go ahead and be patient. Let it come to a boil. Cook it until it starts to thicken. We'll be right back. Okay, we're going to make the mocktail now. This recipe, they recommend that you, I don't know if you've ever seen those, they call them bourbon balls that are an ice ball. You can buy the trays for those, and they tell you to freeze your orange juice like that. So then it kind of looks like a sunrise in there, but I don't have those. So we're using regular ice. To that we're going to add a half cup of orange juice. I'm going to just put that down the bottom. And then you want to fill it with about, or right around 8 ounces of club soda. The top about like that. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of grenadine. And this is what's going to give it the beautiful sunrise color. Okay, and then for sweetener, it calls for vanilla syrup. You can buy the vanilla syrup like in the Tirani that sometimes like coffee bars will have the vanilla syrup. If you can't find it and you don't have it, it's simple to make. This is a cup of sugar, a cup of water, and a tablespoon of vanilla. And I use pure vanilla extract, so it gives us this kind of a caramely color. So then, to this, to sweeten it up, you add 2 teaspoons of your vanilla syrup. I'm going to give just a little more because at this angle I'm not getting the full teaspoon. A little bit of a stir. It makes a beautiful drink for a brunch. So we're going to get out the blueberry French toast. It's nice and puffy. Now over the top of that, I'm putting the blueberry sauce that I made while we were taking a break. I added a tablespoon of butter to it also. So we're going to just kind of drizzle that over the top of it. This puffed up so much that I've got a full pan. Okay. So, let's see, set these aside. We'll dish up the fruit salad. If you have a prettier dish, go ahead and use that. I didn't have anything right now, so we'll just use a bowl. Closer here. You want to, normally you would want to let this set a little bit more so that it sits in a block a little bit better, but we're kind of in a little bit of a time crunch here, so and there we go. We have our cheese souffle, our overnight blueberry French toast, our jeweled fruit salad, and our orange juice mocktail. Thanks for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.